Om Gurubhyo Namah. Om Ganapate Namah. Om Shri Paradevataye Namah. This is Jitesh Satyan doing this video for Shri Vidya Tantram WhatsApp group. The series that we are going to cover is Mooladhara Vidya, Tantra Yoga with Kundalini and Chakras. There will be a couple of videos that will be taken in order to cover the topic of Mooladhara Vidya. This is the first video covering the asana for Mooladhara Vidya. Kundalini Shakti is a key element in multiple yoga systems, whether it is Hatha Yoga, Siddha Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Laya Yoga or Tantra Yoga. There are different systems of chakras that are being followed. There's a 5 chakra system, the popular Shat chakra system involving 6 chakras. There's a 16 chakra system, 16 adharas system called Shodash Adharas. There's also 28 chakra based system. So there are different systems that are being followed relating to Kundalini Yoga. Out of these different chakras, Mooladhara chakra has a lot of significance. The reason being, it is the Mooladhara representing the root or the base. The Mooladhara is where the Kundalini resides. And activation of Kundalini energy is required for progress in the yoga systems. Now, even if it is a yogi or a samayachari who meditates on chakras at Ajna or above, still the person has to activate the Kundalini residing in Mooladhara. So there are kriyas which they actually do before the meditation practice in order to bring the energy upwards. So there also the Mooladhara chakra has a lot of significance. Now looking at the other systems, any spurts of energy, like sudden spurt of energy called Shakti Chalana, should not be mistaken as Kundalini activation or ascent. A spurt of energy can be felt when we go to, when we have a deep sleep and then go to pee. Then some people experience a sudden spurt of energy moving upwards. Or when you do an exercise which actually has a lot of pressure at the bottom, when you try banging your bottom or do some exercise which exerts pressure at the bottom, then also you will be able to experience spurts of energy. This is not Kundalini or Kundalini Yoga or Kundalini Ascent. The reason being, whenever Kundalini ascends, it brings in specific changes, both in the body as well as in terms of mind purpose. So the person actually transforms. Any momentary change, it should not be mistaken as Kundalini Yoga. Now, from the Kundalini practices itself, for Mooladhara chakra, we specifically have to focus, because a lot of tantras as well as tantric scriptures do mention that if you do an activation of upper chakras without strategically moving through the lower chakras, then there is a very high chance that you will get stuck in your progress. This is because the transformation should be gradual as well as leading upwards. If you actually do your practice without losing the materialistic tendencies required at a specific chakra level, then you get stuck at that specific level. So whatever be the practice you are following, Mooladhara chakra has a lot of significance. Now each chakra has its own asanas, its own pranayama, mudras that needs to be followed, how to do pratyahara, then dharana, dhyana, samadhi. All this can be achieved at any of the adhara chakras. So a specific set of kriyas that needs to be followed in order to achieve this is associated with any chakras. This is the base of mantra yoga as well. Most of the tantric scriptures, or almost a majority of tantric scriptures, also have details about a yoga para, which actually details how to activate that specific mantra using yoga in order to see the specific benefits. This can be divided at different levels, whether it is Agni Mandala, Surya Mandala or Soma Mandala, how to split the bijas and how to work with the energies in order to move it upwards. We'll focus on Moolakara Chakra and Moolakara Vidya and the asana here. So the most appropriate asana for Moolakara is Vajrasana. Vajrasana or the thunderbolt posture. The lord associated to Moolakara is Indra, and the weapon of Indra is Vajrayudha. So we see how this association comes into picture, where concentration on Moolakara will help you be able to tame your senses, bring it under your control, how it is associated to Indra, and how the weapon of Indra, which is a thunderbolt weapon called Vajrayudha, has a direct significance with the Vajrasana. Now there are other properties also. If you look at the story of Indra and his Vajrasana, then again you get the association with the spinal cord and how the Sushumna Nadi actually gets related to it. Even in terms of other practices, in Sushumna Nadi, we have Vajra Nadi, Chitta Nadi, Brahma Nadi. Now Vajra Nadi is the Tamo Mandala. It's associated to the tamasic part. So Tamo Mandala again is associated to Moolakara Chakra. There also we have Vajra. So you see how the Vajrasana is correctly named in order to associate to Vajrayudha of Indra associated to Mooladhara, the Vajra Nadi, which is again Tamo Mandala. So that's what we are going to cover in this particular video in terms of Vajrasana. Okay, so how to do Vajrasana? First, stretch your legs. Move your legs to the back. So now you are sitting on your feet. So your buttocks is resting on your feet. Like this. So you're comfortably sitting on your feet. You don't have to keep your toe one on top of the other. Just gentle relaxing on your feet should be fine. Now, one thing to be noted is even if you are a person of even if you're a kid or a teenager or a person in his 40s or 60s, any person who tries to sit in a specific asana and try to maintain that posture will feel a pain after doing it for a couple of minutes unless you practice. So age is not specifically the barrier. Whatever posture you actually try to adopt, in order to get asana siddhi as in getting comfortable with the posture, takes time. Only then you will be able to do extended periods of meditation. So sit in Vajrasana, which is again it's a popular asana not just in Kundalini Yoga. If you look at Zen Buddhism, the Buddhist monks, they also have this. They also have the practice of performing sitting in Vajrasana. Then there are other religious practices which also follows this asana, and you could actually find Japanese having a lot of association to this posture. So this posture, so you actually sit in Vajrasana. Your back is straight, spine is erect, hands are comfortably resting on the knees. Now, if you are not focusing on something, then the time you will be able to sit in this asana will be reduced. So in initial practice, you need to focus on something. So the best thing to focus on, to gain focus, is to focus on your breath. So close your eyes, take deep inhalation, take deep exhalation. So do deep inhalation and exhalation. And when you do it, focus on the cold air that you breathe in. So focus is on the cool air that you take in and the warm air you breathe out. So focus on only that, and then you will not actually feel the pain associated to the asana. So you'll be focusing on your breath. So it has multiple advantages. One, you are gaining your focus. Second, you are able to sit for extended period of time on a specific posture. So that is Vajrasana. Now we are not covering the topic of where to focus associated to Mooladhara or what it is associated to. We will have videos covering the Tattva, how to focus, even in terms of focus itself, how to do specific kind of focus, like the Stula Rupa associated to the Devata mantra associated to that, how to visualize will be covered. Now, again, when you come to the Mooladhara petals, there is specific mantra associated to that, so that will be covered. We'll then come to the Kundalini. So there are specific things to be covered. So we'll cover it as different videos, because Asana Siddhi is very important. So unless you are able to sit in a comfortable posture for an extended period of time, you will not be able to meditate for long. And even in Pranayama, there is a lot of topics, important things to be covered. So what is the Pranayama associated to the Mooladhara? How to actually handle the breathing, how to handle Pranapana, the various tests associated. So you can do self-test in order to access whether how you are progressing. And it's not like imagination that you should have your test. You will be able to clearly test your progress. And Tantra Yoga is an experiential yoga. So it's not about imagination as most put it, like imagine a yellow color, imagine that color, this color. You will be able to experience the progress. So we'll cover all that in the videos that come. So if you want to join the group, or if you have any queries, do feel free to send a message to the WhatsApp number that is mentioned. So wishing you all a happy and healthy body and mind with Tantra Yoga. Thanks for watching.